After a dominating win in prime time, the flop is on to Cincinnati as the Ravens travel to Cincinnati for their first AFC North Divisional game of the season. And we're already in week 5, people. Soon we will be putting up those Christmas trees and sitting down to feast for Thanksgiving. But before that, the Ravens are in Cincinnati. Week 5, Flex Zone Podcast is here. Only place giving you your Ravens coverage in sports. How you want it when you need it. If you can right now, sack that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Leave us a thumbs up. And go get a bulldoze that bell as we move forward. And check out the content. We've been busy each and every day this week on the channel. Monday, the flagship podcast. Tuesday, the debut episode of NXT and the vice presidential debate, a dual stream. Wednesday, 5-year anniversary of AEW Dynamite. Last night, we were live talking WWE Bad Blood, and we're back with previews and much more with the Ravens and other things here on the Flex Zone. So check us out. Sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you look forward to seeing with the Ravens and the Bengals. Give me a score prediction and so much more. But let's get into it. The Ravens, as we know, dominated last week 35-10. Derrick Henry, 1 yard short of 200, but 199 yards. The offensive line got 1% better, as I talked about last week. Lamar Jackson pretty much played mistake-free football. The defense held it down, and it was probably the most complete Ravens win I've seen maybe since the 49ers game last season. Yeah. Outside of a few blunders here and there, damn good all-around effort. And they held the lead in the fourth quarter with a double-digit lead going into it. So that's always good to see. So Harbaugh, without counting you today. So with that being said, we're on to Cincinnati. We know how AFC North games go. I don't care. You throw the records out the window. Divisional games in general in any sport, you throw the records out the window. These teams know each other like the back of their hand. It's going to be physical. It is going to be hard-nosed. As I say, bring your lunch pail and your ice pack because you're going to need to ice up, son. Tighten your chin strap. Put on your big boy pants. And honestly, Cincinnati's playing for their season. They're 1-3. They got their first win last week against Carolina. I think Cincinnati, coming into the season, was the second best team in the division, right behind the Ravens. But you could argue they maybe were the best team. But their defense is their weak point, and especially the inability to get consistent pass rush. Their corners aren't really that good, if you ask me. They're not really that great at each level. They're just pretty much mid, to be honest with you. And they have a great defensive coordinator, Lou Anarumo. If you've watched anything of the content on this channel, when I talk about the Bengals, when I talk about their defense, when I talk about guys who should be considered head coaches in this league, I look no further than Cincinnati and Lou Anarumo. And I want to give him his flowers because look at what he did against Kansas City, or has done against Kansas City when they match up. They do a really good job on the Chiefs, no matter who the Chiefs have, and they make it a competitive game defensively, no matter who their personnel is. I know he's an older guy. I know he's more probably old school, but if I'm an NFL team that wants to win, you can hire a guy like Lou Anarumo, put the right offensive guys around him, offensive coordinators, quarterback coach, get him to the right team with that quarterback and offensive capability. And I think you could have a franchise that could be headed in the right direction. Just my opinion. We'll see how it plays out this offseason, as there probably will be at least 3 or 4 openings. We'll see what happens and where they are. Jacksonville. Excuse me, Tony Khan. Now, with that said, the Ravens will be heading to Cincinnati, and it is what it is. It is what it is. I like the Ravens in this game. I am picking the Ravens. I picked them last week. And I thought, like I said, going into the Cincinnati game before the season, week 5, I thought they would be 2-2 with the chance to get to 3-2, which I think they will do on Sunday afternoon, a 1 p.m. game. So one of the fewer 1 p.m. games we have this season. The next few games are 1 p.m. games as well. I also got to give you my picks. I'm going to do live on-air math, so bear with me if you make it to that part of the video. I love you. I appreciate you. Leave a comment down below and leave your favorite emoji as well. It helps us out tremendously on the game. Now, this week, the Ravens are headed to Cincinnati. Let's get the injury report because I do want to update you guys as it looks like Andrew Voorhees is going to be probable. And it looks like he is on his way to return this week. We have the Ravens, and I'll share my screen with you guys, give you the update. We have the Ravens as really 3-point favorites, 3-point road favorites. You rarely see that in the NFL because usually as a home team you get 3 games. And hey, Ravens are 3-point favorites. Over under is 48.5. So I have it going with the over. And I have the Ravens to cover. And I think that it's going to be a tight game. And as you can see, it's pretty much, in my opinion, an evenly matched game. I think both offenses will be able to move the ball. They will be able to score points. I think this is a game where the Ravens want to continue their trend of being upwards of 30 points a game to win, because I think Cincinnati, while our defense, I think, is probably playing better, I do think that with the receivers that we're going to face on Sunday, the receivers, and adding the quarterback, because Joe Burrow is as good as anybody, if you ask me. He's in that top 5 quarterback conversation, top 4, if you ask me, with Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen, and Burrow. Rank them how you want, but those are my 4 top quarterbacks in the league. You can add me on that. I think that this game we are facing probably the most potent 2 or maybe 3 receivers, because the Bengals' third receiver, I want to get his name right, and I should have practiced it before I came on here, but it is it, what's the guy name? It is, what is it? Andre, uh, Yavokich? Is it Yavokich? It's Andre, yeah. Yeah, he from Princeton. He is somebody to look out for, Mr. Andrea Vosich, I think it is, or something like that. You can correct me down below. But yes, he is pretty good. He has what? He has 11 catches for 114 yards, 3 touchdowns. He showed out in the game, and he's somebody to look out for. I think all 3 receivers are pretty solid. So we were facing the best group of receivers we've seen. Eifert, the tight end, is like another receiver. So with that being said, this is going to be something that the Ravens need, especially the secondary, is going to need to make sure that they're on their A game, because Joe Burrow's looking to get rid of the ball quick, and they have big-time players that can make big-time plays with the ball. Defensively, like I said, the Ravens, if they can get a consistent pass rush, I think they'll be okay, but they're going to make their plays. Let's be real. But Andrew Voorhees, questionable. We know he is scheduled to return, it looks like, with his injury, his ankle injury. And Arthur Millette did return to practice this week, which is fantastic. He's on IR. He'll probably be back next week. Deontay Hardy looks like he's going to be playing. And Rasheen Ali and Keaton Mitchell, we know he's back running, which is good to know as well. Miles Murphy looks like he's going to play. McKinley Jackson, Mike Hilton, looks like they're all on track to play. No Sheldon Ranklins, it looks like, as doubtful, and no Trent Brown. So the offensive line for the Bengals taking another hit there. And you see, look at the numbers. Lamar, Burrow's doing his thing. I know they're 1-3, but they're doing their thing. And Zach Moss and Chase Brown are not a bad 1-2 combination at running back. And Jamar Chase, at this point, Joe Burrow is pretty much doing the Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs thing. He is force feeding the ball to Jamar Chase, and that's really not a bad idea. I think T. Higgins is starting to come back. That is one of the keys as well, which I'll get to. But as we get to the keys to the game, everybody, I know everybody's favorite part of the show. First key for the offense, Derrick Henry at least 20 carries. I believe, 24 carries last week, 25 the week before, or flip-flop, whatever. He's got the ball over 40 times the past few weeks. That is a recipe for success. And I think the Ravens' identity, we've been asking, what is the Ravens' identity all offseason? What is the Ravens' identity the first 3-4 weeks of the season? I think we see the Ravens' identity is kind of like 2019. Run the football, establish the run, wear defenses down in the fourth quarter with a lead, and then use play action. Use Lamar to make the easy reads, because the defense is going to be so keyed in on the run of Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Easy reads, Lamar with layups, Lamar getting assists, Lamar with easy opportunities in one-on-one coverage. And all the receivers got to do is catch the ball. Because if he makes the throw like he's capable of, or the deep balls, or the intermediate routes, and just uses his fundamentals, just got to catch the ball. That's all it got to be. It's simple. It's simple, and they just got to stick with it. But the first key is give Derrick Henry at least 20 carries. Like I said, I think they may throw a little more in this game because they may have to. They may even have to play from behind potentially. I'm not saying they will. They could. So we could see more throws and less runs, but Derrick Henry still needs to get his 20 touches. Make them tackle, make them come up in the box, and get your opportunities in the passing game. Secondly, don't let Trey Hendrickson go off. We know he's upset about his contract. We know he's only got 3 sacks, I believe. Contain him. Last week, we didn't hear Greg Rousseau's name. We didn't hear Ed Oliver's name. We didn't hear, well, Von Miller, I don't think was on the field. But we didn't hear any of those names. Let's keep that energy. Last week, I said we'll get 1% better. I like Makari inside and left guard. Rosengard, I think, is there to stay at right tackle. He had a fantastic game. If Voorhees is back, I still start Rosengard, keep Makari as a 6-man, use him as a swing tackle, extra big sets to run the football. We got something brewing, and I think they can keep Henderson a lot. Ricard, chipping him, blocking with Andrews, and likely what you saw more of last week. It can give Lamar an opportunity to make plays. Thirdly, continue to spread the ball around. I love what we're seeing. Yes, I know a lot of guys are going to be upset in the receiver room, in the tight end room. Mark Andrews, he had a drop, but would have only had 1 catch. Like 1 catch. Aguilar, 1 catch. Flowers, 2 catches. Bateman, 1 catch. That's fine. It's okay. Because this is a run-first offense for now. They could pass more in the season later on because they're probably going to have to. They're going to be playing from behind. They're going to have to be in some higher scoring matchups where the defense is going to not be able to get stops. It happens in the NFL. Just like there are games where your offense can't get going and your defense is going to have to save you. I think there's an opportunity here for the Ravens to continue to do that. Give 2 or 3 to Flowers. Give 2 or 3 to Bateman. Give Andrews 2 or 3. Give likely 2 or 3. I think this is going to be a big game potentially for the tight ends because I think their linebackers are not that great in coverage. Outside of Logan Wilson, he's their best linebacker. Number 55, the guy who ironically hurt Andrews last year, and maybe Andrews is still banged up. Maybe the car accident. Maybe it's a combination of all of those things. Maybe him aging up a little bit quicker than expected. The wear and tear on his body, his mental aspect, the offensive philosophy, scheme. So I think we could see a big game from the Titans. I think Andrews has his best game of the year, which is a low bar. I'm not saying anything groundbreaking. And I think likely has more of a likely game. 3, 4 catches, 50, 60 yards, maybe. Andrews, 3, 4 catches, 50, 60 yards. I think it's more of a tight end driven game, but I think we pass a little more. And I think the tight ends in the middle of the field, like I thought last week, can work out. And use Zay and use Zay underneath for the screens and the quick throws and use Bateman to take your 20, 30-yard shots down the field. I think that is a good, well spread out offense. And I think that is what is going to need to happen on Sunday because I think eventually the Bengals are going to put more men in the box, thus using the pass. Maybe they come out throwing the ball a little bit to then set up the run in the second half, which I wouldn't hate. You know, we as fans, we as pundits, we want to see them use Lamar as a quarterback more throwing the ball. I just want whatever is best for the team to win. If it is Lamar, I think throwing as close to 20 to 25 passes in that range, I love that for any QB. And then you can run the ball 25 times balance. I'm all for it. Lamar, next key is take what the defense gives you. Make the layups. Like I said, he only has 1 interception. He had a fumble last week. Take what the defense gives you, Lamar. The offensive line, they are doing better because they don't have to pass block as much because they're able to establish the run. If you got your first read taken away, your second read isn't there, you can then look to take off and run. Don't force anything. Take what the defense gives you. If they're keeping you inside the pocket and a guy is covering all of the deep routes and all you got is the check down, he's done a much better job of that the last couple of years, especially this year with the implementation of the screen game, the draws, and things like that. So Lamar, just take what the defense gives you. Make the layups. The opportunities are going to be there, especially in one-on-one coverage. And I think he may even have a couple of one-on-one opportunities down the field. We may actually see if Lamar's deep ball has improved. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. Let me see if I can get a weather report. I don't know what the weather's going to be. I'll look up that weather, but I think it's going to be an opportunity on Sunday to throw the ball down the field a little more to see what the Ravens do have in that department. And last but not least, this really isn't a key. It's more of a shout out. but something to look forward to in this game. King of the Hill, Justice Hill, you have been one of the best Ravens this season so far. We know Lamar, we know Derrick Henry, but right behind them two has to be Justice Hill. And congrats on a new contract. You deserve it. Another value deal, coupon book deal for EDC. And I know people are throwing things out about Devontae Adams or Tay Adams on Instagram about him with the Edgar Allan Poe post. Is Eric DeCosta really about to try to trade for him? I don't see it. And I'm going to try to pull up the image so you can see it. If you haven't already, I'm sure you have. But I don't know. I'm intrigued to see what he's talking about because he posted that. And I am confused. And I think it is Edgar Allan Poe Day when this is being recorded. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But give Justice Hill some love. I love how they use him, not just as a third down back, not just as a premium, oh, he's in the game, so they're going to pass. Nope. He's being used, draws, screens, running the ball well, getting that extra gear, giving that element of speed. The Ravens play with a lot of speed on Sunday night. I like when they play fast. I like when they play up tempo. You got a Ferrari and Lamar. You got a Charger and Justice Hill. You got a freaking a Hellcat and Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? So you got guys, weapons, explosive players, playmakers. We've been asking for them for years. We have multiple playmakers on offense, and it's good to know that we have that. Let's get to the defense real quick. Defensively, make Joe Burrow hold the ball. We know they want to get rid of the ball quick, much like we saw last week. Make him hold the ball. Make him move outside the pocket. Secondly, tackle well. We know they love Yak. Throwing a short to Chase. Throwing a short to Chase Brown, Zach Moss. Throwing a short to T. Higgins. Tackle well. Thirdly, no big plays. I look at big plays, anything 30 yards or more. We know how they used to burn us in the past. I think having Wiggins, Humphrey, Stevens, Mileto his way back. The same what Ardarius Washington has done. Kyle Hamilton moving around. No big plays. Next, don't let Higgins get hot. He only had 3 for 60 last week. I think Chase only had like 85 yards. But don't let Higgins get going. Higgins can beat you deep. He's good in the red zone. He's really good on third down. He has a nice, soft group of hands. Keep Higgins contained. I like to see maybe who do you put on who? I think Stevens can be on Higgins because he has the speed to keep up with him and he has the physicality. And I maybe put Wiggins on Chase with the speed aspect with help. With help. So probably not necessarily playing press man, but just shadowing him, keeping up with him, and then making the tackles, which I think Wiggins is capable of. And we'll see how good Nate Wiggins is this game because he's going to be matched up on probably both of them. Definitely going to chase some. So we'll see how good Nate Wiggins is this game. Lastly, excuse me, for defense, make them one-dimensional. I think if you can take away some of those passing options, those quick passes, make them have to run to beat you, they're capable. But we know the Ravens are number one against the run. You ain't going to be doing much against if Pierce is back. Pierce, Travis Jones, who having one of the breakout years on defense, and Madubuike. And then you still got Big Roquan coming back there and Trenton Simpson flying around. So you ain't doing much running the ball. You may get 3 or 4 runs here and there. You get 5 yards here. You might get 7 yards. You might get 4. But you ain't getting those gashing long runs. You may get 1 or 2 every now and then. Like I said, for the game, you may be like, we got 3 or 4 runs over 5 yards. That's it. Special teams, let's go to special teams. No missed field goals. Justin Tucker did make all of his extra points last week. Yes, Justin Tucker. Yes, Justin Tucker made all of his kicks. We have to celebrate this, people, because we never know what might happen next or this week. No missed field goals, because I think we're going to have to make some field goals in this game as well. But I love the touchdowns in the red zone. And can we find a spark in the return game? Is that possible? Deontay Hardy? Yeah, okay. I mean, he has speed, but so does everybody in the NFL. They're all fast. They're all athletic. They're all top tier specimens at various aspects of their athletic gifts. That's how I look at Deontay Hardy. What I'm doing is when Keith Mitchell's healthy, how am I using Keith Mitchell? Kick and punt returns. I'm putting him right there. He's the fastest guy on the team. Use his speed. He may not get right back to it immediately, but this can work him in easily. Plus, with the new kickoff rules, he probably ain't doing too much there. But we haven't changed the punting rules. First of all, we need to go back to the old kicking ways. I know player safety, but whatever. We need to go back to we still have the same punting rules, right? Hardy, can we get a spark? Can we get a return over 10 yards, 15 yards? Is that too much to ask? That's why I would, love to see Keaton Mitchell back. Let him back there. Let him use his speed. Let's get to work. Because special teams is a difference in a lot of games. While I go through these keys, let me pull up this Devontae Adams thing. Offensively, Derrick Henry at least 20 carries. Don't let Hendrickson go off. Continue to spread the ball around. Lamar, take what the defense gives you. Make your layups. King of the hill. Defensively, make Joe Burrow hold the ball. Next, tackle well. No big plays. Don't let Higgins get hot and make them one-dimensional. Special teams, no missed field goals, and find a spark in the return game. This is the post I was referring to about a minute or two ago. Devontae Adams with the Edgar Allan Poe. Hey, interesting. I don't know what that means. I guess that's why. Someone put the comment, believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. Poe, Edgar Allan Poe, Po' Boy Sandwich, New Orleans Saints. Like that. That's pretty creative. Of course, Edgar Allan Poe is Baltimorean, so intriguing. But I don't think we have the draft capital or the cap room, most importantly, to trade for Devontae Adams. And he's getting older. I'd rather go get, if we're going to trade for a receiver, if that's what we're going to do, go get Christian Kirk or somebody like that. You know what I mean? I mean, somebody that's younger. I mean, he's making a lot of money. We're not going to do that, but I mean, I would go get Hassan Reddick, but we did bring in Yannick Ngakoue. Does he play this week? I'd love to see him. Him and Van Noy, I think, have a big advantage against the rookie Denzel Mims. And I think they can show the rookie some things he hasn't seen before and really get after Burrow. And the Ravens usually do well against the Bengals defensively. They mix up the coverages. They don't give up the big plays. They tackle well, and they all crowd the football. And I think that's very, very important. And they make Burrow hold the football. And I think getting that interior pressure is important because Burrow's not the best athlete. I think if you make him move around too much, his legs and knees, they got it. They ain't got it. Prediction-wise, though, I am going Ravens 31, Bengals 27. I think we get a higher scoring game, take the over. Ravens do cover. Comes down to the last 4 or 5 minutes. I think the Ravens make a game-winning touchdown drive to get the win. Winning, coming from behind on the road. That's my prediction. 31-27. And let's get to week 5 picks. I think I was 24 and 24 coming into this week, which was week 4. So if we look at what I did in week 4, let's see what I did. See what my record was last week. My record last week was for week 4. I correctly predicted Giants over or Cowboys over the Giants. I predicted Atlanta over New Orleans, Chicago. That's 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, 3-4. The losses keep coming. 4-4, 5-4, 5-5, 6-5, 7-5, 8-5, 9-5, 9-6, and what did I go? 10-6. 10-6 last week. So I am 34 and what's that? 34 and 32. So there you go. No, I'm 30. Yeah, I'm 32. No, I'm 34 and 30. 34 and 30. My bad. Quick mental math. Not the sharpest tool in the toolbox. Got the highest grade of weed in the dispensary, but appreciate you being here. If you made it this far, we're almost at 25 minutes. I'm about to get you out of here. So I'm 34 and 30 after 4 weeks. We'll see how we do this week. Real quick. Over this week, I did have the Thursday night game correctly predict. Great Thursday night game. Falcons over the Saints in overtime, 36-30. So I'm 1-0. I have the Jets over the Vikings in London, their first loss. Bears over Carolina. Ravens over the Bengals, 31-27. New England over Miami. Tyler Huntley ain't it. Commanders over the Browns. Colts over the Jaguars. Might be Flacco again. Houston over Buffalo. Buffalo on its touch stretch coming up. Denver over Vegas. Shout out to the Broncos and that defense. And no Devontae Adams again. 49ers over the Cardinals. Packers over the Rams. Seahawks over the Giants. And I'm going with the Cowboys over the Steelers. Maybe more of a heart over head thing. No Micah Parsons, I know, but I think Dallas will really be able to put up points on Pittsburgh. I think a big game from CeeDee Lamb, a big game from Jake Ferguson, and maybe Brandon Cooks as well. I think Dak throws like 300 plus. And they air the ball out and win a game where I think Pittsburgh scores some points too because Dallas's defense is dumb. Like it's a dump. It's not good. So I can see Dallas. I can see Pittsburgh winning, but I think Dallas scores over. If it's anything over 20 points, I think Dallas wins. I'm going Kansas City over New Orleans on Monday night. Detroit, Tennessee, Philly, and the Chargers all are all are on buys. So there you go. Should be a fun week of football. Join us on Sunday afternoon, early evening, for the Baltimore Ravens postgame show. Myself and Big Raj. He will be with me as we'll be breaking down the Ravens and Bengals and getting you ready for Ravens and Commanders, the battle of the Beltways. And let me get this Cincinnati weather for you guys before I forget. It will be on Sunday. It's going to be beautiful. It is going to be, looks like 84 degrees on Sunday in Cincinnati. If you're going to the game, not a far ride. I want to go out to Cincinnati one day. Maybe try some of that chili. I don't know, I'm not a big chili person. I don't know what else there is to do in Cincinnati. Let me know in the comments. Southwest Ohio, stand up. But it's going to be 84 degrees on Sunday. 5% precipitation, 54% humidity, and 12-mile-per-hour winds. Beautiful October afternoon, all day for football. So Ravens, Bengals will be live for the post-game show afterwards. Hit the bell for all the notifications. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Sign off down below. Let me know your keys, impact players, X factors, anything I missed, and what you're looking forward to seeing in your score and predictions and picks for Week 5. How you doing so far? I'm 34-30. I'm a slightly over 500 team, but I think this week I'm going to have a good week. We'll see what happens. I'll see you guys for the Baltimore Ravens postgame show. Ravens Bengals go with the Ravens. Get the win. 3-2. Bengals will drop to 1-4. 31-27. Let's go Ravens.